Hello and welcome to Fan TV. It is Wednesday evening and it's me, Toby Tarrant. I'd like to start by wishing everyone a happy St. Andrew's Day. So cook a bowl of porridge with a side of haggis, open a bottle of Iron Brew and sit back for the next 2 hours with me. Yesterday, JLC saw the return of Hugging Hilda and Colin, our Watford fans, who had more excuses than Jose after the Stoke defeat. At least no bottles were harmed during the filming of this though. Next up, our master debaters, Topher, Mike and Sean, were arguing with United fan Ross on Skype, who was more defensive than his team's tactics. Topher and Mike discussed relegation battling Wolves, whilst glory hunter Sean was feeling smug about his boys Burton Albion all the way up in 19th place. Well done, Burton. Following those debaters, 5 girls and an Irishman joined us. I think I've seen that video. The girls from the UCL women's team discussed the standard of football at uni, and top scorer Leah Poonawala, aka Leah Don't Poo, couldn't remember if she had scored 7 or 12 goals so far. Turned out she scored 9, so thank God she's good at football. Our Irish ref Dave was glowing on the screen whilst he ranted about players diving, and he thinks Jose is boring. I'm so sorry if that's offended the whole of Ireland. I'm so sorry. Last up, we had Guna Germain, who was lucky enough to share the screen with Premier League expert Chris Darwin, who Skyped us from inside his house. I thought he just lived on that balcony every week. Chris, we need to have a serious chat on Friday, mate. I will see you then. It sounds like a cracker. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Season by November, you'll be 2 points behind Manchester United. You would have taken that.
Absolutely. I'd rather be 2 points ahead of them. But
well, that might happen the way things are going.
We were briefly. But...
you lost at home to Stoke at the weekend. I'm sorry. He's our Liverpool fan. Raj, are you there, baby bum cake? Go on, Raj.
Hi,
Come on, let's have it, Raj.
Hi, Raj.
Second clue isn't in the bag. Oh. Watch out. Watch out, master debaters. Yes, Justin Lee Collins in Octopussy. So, it's my favourite Bond film, stars Roger Moore. Leah Poonawala. It's the best name I've ever heard. It's just absolutely brilliant.
My coach used to call me Leah Don't Poo.
Good times as ever with Justin last night here on the lime green sofas. And coming on now, I'll have Eagles Dom and James. Last time these guys were on the sofas, they spent the whole time plugging a pretty boring book. I'm so sorry. Think they have bigger issues on hand to talk about this time. 6 games without a point for Palace at the moment. At 8 p.m, it's the Black Country Derby live in the studio. Mark and Matt might need more than the Fan TV cushion wall to separate them. They haven't faced each other in a while, so is the rivalry still going strong? We shall see. Football Fancast boys will be with me from 8:30 to tell everyone to not put a Palace or Swansea defender in your team this week. Hopefully they have some other gems that none of us have already thought of. And Gianluca is in his usual 9 p.m. slot to cover the news coming out of Italy for us. He is also a die-hard Gooner, so we might cover a bit of that too, seeming as Liverpool are currently 2 points ahead of them. Looking forward to that. Now let's welcome James and Dom on the sofas. Come on, James. Hello, mate. Good to see you. How you been, all right?
Yeah, very good.
Sorry to insult your book.
That's all right. You can insult the second one now. It came out last week.
The second one came out last week?
It did.
Really?
Palace Edition 2.
Edition 2?
Yeah, Where Eagles Fly.
Where Eagles, I like it. Yeah. Give it a plug, or is that a plug?
That's a plug. No, so basically, it's from when I lived in Australia, just about following the Premier League from the other side of the world, middle of the night. The story I got Michael Owen for before, I'd probably get Michael Owen talking about my book, waiting for it. Yeah, so it's just sort of the idea of following Palace from the other side of the world. Mile Jedinak got involved. He's on the front cover. He's talked really boringly about the season. You know, what was your favourite plugging? The world's least passionate man, Mile Jedinak.
Is he?
Surprisingly,
really? Yeah,
for an international and club captain.
Yeah.
So you know, what was your highlight this season? Was it winning at Anfield? Was it scoring that fantastic free kick against Liverpool? He's like, well, you know, the team did well. The boys done well.
Really?
Yeah. But
he's just been media trained too much. Not allowed to have an
exactly.
opinion.
No emotion in football.
You know, like when you flush the toilet in Australia and it goes around the other way around? Are Palace really good down under? Is that how it works?
We were that year. We were a top half Premier League team.
Yeah.
Alan Pardew was great then.
Yeah.
You know, all went right. No, we don't really talk about Palace.
We are going to talk about Crystal Palace, I'm afraid. I did say we spoke beforehand and I said you're very brave to come on this week of all weeks. Everybody knows the game. Swansea 5-4, a crazy, ridiculous game of football. Honestly speaking, where does that rank as the most painful losses? Do you remember as a Palace fan?
It was almost the most beautiful victory
Yeah.
I've ever seen. It was almost a bit like Cristambul, which I know you're very fond of.
Yeah, big fan of it.
We've come back from 3-1 down to be winning 4-3. And I just thought, this is going to be incredible. But to be honest, I wasn't that angry when I left. It was almost just a farce. I didn't realise what had happened.
The two of us kind of just sat down and laughed when that fifth goal went in.
Really?
It went 4-3. And I had a five-a-side group who'd been absolutely ripping into me on WhatsApp at 3-1. And then it went 4-3 and was, oh, wow, incredible, blah, blah. And I just texted him, we'll lose 5-4. And we did.
Really? Really?
The misery of it.
I think the painful thing is the fact that I've gone into work on Monday and just everyone goes, what an amazing game. It wasn't an amazing game.
Yeah, it's pretty dull, actually. We prefer Tony Pulis 1-0 wins.
Yeah, I bet you do. Just a win, just any win would be nice. It was, for the neutral, it was fascinating.
Yeah,
I was watching the Liverpool game on a totally legal stream.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had the scores just coming in at the top corner. And I was watching a slightly pixelated version of the Liverpool game, and I was going, that can't be. And then it came in 5-4. It was absolute madness. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, Alan Pardew. So there were discussions that he was going to have crisis talks with Steve Parish. Yesterday they said within the next 24 hours, but it's been radio silence ever since. It appears he will be in the dugout this weekend for the Southampton game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saturday was the day that I turned. A lot of Palace fans have been wanting him out for a while. I kind of felt you're that unorganised. Go into the game saying you're aiming for a clean sheet away at bottom of the league and let 5 in. To let 4 goals in at set pieces when the week before you've let your 10th goal of the season in a set piece. No, it's not like us. It's just a lack of organisation. The players are fighting for him, which is weird. Previous managers we've had who we've sacked, they've clearly lost the dressing room. The players have given up. The players are still fighting for him, but I just think the lack of organisation is incredible.
It's interesting that you say this about the players still fighting for him, because this is crazy that's come out about Wilfried Zaha. So he is swapping allegiance from England to Ivory Coast, seems to be the plan.
Yeah.
But he would be an Ivory Coast player in time for the African Cup of Nations 2017 and potentially miss 6 weeks of the season. When I saw that, I thought, isn't Wilfried Zaha kind of boyhood club? He's the sort of guy that should be... He can't miss 6 weeks of a relegation
But that's the
battle,
thing.
can he?
He's such a Palace fan that he said that he won't play in the African Cup of Nations.
Oh, he won't play?
Yeah, this year.
So
I'll probably do the next
I
one.
saw that someone retweeted something from The Sun. I kind of just assumed it wasn't true.
I heard it on the BBC,
Oh,
which
really?
is legit, isn't it? Almost as legit as Fan TV.
Almost as legit as Sky 212. You won't get any misinformation here on Sky 212.
But I think that's testament to Wilf's character that he puts Palace first.
We're just quite angry that Zaha and Moses are going off to the African Cup of Nations because England wouldn't pick them. And then you've got dross like Andros Townsend and Jesse Lingard playing on the wing for England.
Yeah.
It kind of says it all about the selection makers. The most worrying thing about Southgate's appointment today is the fact that he watched us play Burnley, where Townsend had an absolute mare. Zaha tore them apart, made a couple of goals, was absolutely brilliant throughout, and he picked Townsend.
I thought this when I saw the squad come out, and I go, Southgate picked the wrong Palace winger for this squad. It did seem bizarre.
And then Townsend even got a game. To be fair, he dribbled past about 5 of the Spanish players. But will she do that against Burnley?
I know, yeah, he's always got that in his locker.
Anyone for us.
Yeah, he has been shocking, to be fair. It seems that Steve Parish is happy for Pardew to stay, but it's the two Americans, the two Yanks that have brought 18% of the club, respectively, I think, that are less sure on Alan Pardew. They've owned the club less than a year. You can completely understand why they're not convinced by Alan Pardew, can't you?
Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, you don't know that's true. There's a few murmurs in the press. And it's an easy rumour to make, because there's a picture of Pardew and Parish out together with, Piers Morgan out in America a few weeks ago. But I think Parish has always been very quiet, and sackings have kind of come out the blue. It's not generally been a sort of big leak before. We've sacked managers before. And I think I'd be amazed. I mean, we've won 5 games this year. Even for Palace, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
They're good mates as well, so that probably helps.
Did you fire him?
In a heartbeat.
He's been trying every time we're on Fan TV. He said, "You don't have to come, mate."
Yeah. He's given it his best go. But crisis talks in the week.
I'm still a fan of Pardew, I have to say. I think, firstly, whenever he's been doing well, he's been linked with the England job when it's actually been available, and he's shown loyalty to Palace, saying, "I would love to be England manager, but I'm really happy at Palace. Why would I leave?" I feel we owe it to him to keep him on. And also, we keep talking about he's the worst manager, or we're the worst team in 2016. That doesn't really matter. The league doesn't go January to January, it goes September
you are true. So the crunch
to May.
time of the season's not included in that.
You could say in 2016, Pardew's the only manager who's been to the FA Cup final
and lost.
In 2016.
Wait, let me come back to this. That's fascinating, though. I do find it amazing that you Pardew in. I've got to launch the first poll of the evening, and then we've got to take a break. But at Fan TV UK, following Woodburn's introduction last night, who's been English football's best under 20? That's not English footballers, it's best in England under 20. Owen, Rooney or Fabregas are the options, or other. You can comment below. Let us know on Twitter at FanTVUK if you've got any suggestions, or just get involved with the vote as well. And we will see you and discuss Pardew in, apparently, after the break. Cheers. Hi there, welcome back to Fan TV, live on Sky 212, Facebook and YouTube as well. Got a couple of Crystal Palace fans here on the lime green sofa. Well, one Crystal Palace fan and one Bahia fan. Yeah. Talk us through your shirt.
So I went out to the World Cup in Brazil and saw this beautiful looking shirt and didn't get around to buying one when I was in Salvador. We were then in Brasilia, about 10,000 miles away. Tried, go around various sports shops and asked for a shirt, and it was like, going into a London shop asking for a Blackburn Rovers one.
Okay, yeah.
And they said, once they realised what I was saying, just laughed. Walking away from a game, it was Portugal against Ghana. I saw someone wearing it, and all through the tournament, I had people wanting to swap their shirts for like a Palace one, just because it was an English football shirt.
Yeah.
And I turned them down, so this guy just ran up to us, like, swap, swap, swap. So we swapped shirts, and there was this Brazilian who's now wandering around with a Crystal Palace shirt on. Also wondering, who are this team?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And when he checked the table going, oh, come on, really? I swapped for these guys?
Well, they got relegated, so...
Oh, did they?
They're not even in the Brazilian top division anymore.
Oh, so you might have something in common with them.
We could do.
This time
other than wearing red and blue.
Yeah, other than wearing red and blue. We were discussing the fact that you think Alan Pardew deserves more time, which amazed me and amazed you, amazed you as well. I mean, the Telegraph reported today that apparently, no matter how constructed the talks are this week, a loss at Southampton apparently will be the final nail in the coffin. I always find that so odd when they kind of give them an ultimatum of a game, because that's not a fair test, is it, really?
The thing is, Southampton as well, they're a decent side. I think the week after when we play Hull, that should be the ultimatum game. I think it should be on the performance on Southampton. If it's terrible, then yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I think the thing was, I was going down to Swansea, I said, right, I think he's got the 3 games till the Hull one. I just thought we were so unorganised. It was just an absolute shambles. All of the goals were preventable. And you've got to look, if it happens once, you can think the players, but every week we're letting in from set pieces. It's got to be the manager, and that's why I've sort of changed tact and wanted him out. But equally, I can see there's no point sacking and putting the assistant manager in. Like, you might as well now, I just hope, and I think they probably are, searching out who's going to replace him. Well, if you look, Pardew got appointed 2 or 3 days after Warnock was sacked. It was clearly all in place. And I suspect that's what's happening now.
The 2 names linked with the job are both ex-England bosses, Roy Hodgson and Sam Allardyce. Would you be happy with either of those?
Sam Allardyce, I'd be happy with. Go back to a bit of organisation. I think that seems to be the trend. You score loads of goals, but you concede loads, and then you need a bit more organisation, and then it gets dull, so you need a bit more goals. It just goes round.
It's the transition phase that is good. Like, Pulis had us really organised. Pardew came and said, we'll play more attacking. So you still had the organisation, but tried to attack. And we were fantastic for a bit. Then we've just gone too far the other way, so we just need to sort of go back. We'll have a transition under
There's talk of Pardew bringing in a defensive coach, or more Palace going over his head, bringing in a defensive coach. Pardew doesn't strike me as a man that'd be willing to give up his...
Thing is, he sacked the defensive coach and appointed his mate, who was John Solako, who's a winger. And then he was told to sack him and has brought in more people. So it's not really working.
And also, I mean, defence, obviously this is very vague and bland, but defence is basically 50% of your job as a manager. Surely that falls underneath his remit of what his job entails.
Yeah, exactly. He's in charge. It's his organisation. And under Pulis, we finished like 11th. We scored 23 goals in the season. Like, that shows how good the defence was. Only Man City and Chelsea had a better defence than us that year. Really? And you think he's totally thrown that away. And it's not like, with Kevin Keegan, we'll score 4, you score 3. It's like, we'll score 4, you score 5. Or however many we score, you'll score 1 more. It seems to be our mentality this season.
Yeah, it's not much of a recipe for success, that, is it? When it rains, it pours. Connor Wickham going off with a very serious-looking knee injury. He's about to go under the knife on anterior cruciate ligament, I think it is. Yeah. Sad for the kid, but also, he wasn't great with a good knee. So
no, he's terrible for a lot of the time, and then he scores in consecutive games, and you think, finally, that's the 16-year-old that Ipswich were raving about, and then he gets injured for 6 months every single time.
It's one of them where it's really sad, because it means Fraser Campbell's now our backup striker. It's the main disappointment, I think. That's quite upsetting for anyone.
That hurt more than Connor Wickham's leg, I think. The fact that you're going to have to watch Fraser Campbell up front for Crystal Palace. Should we play a game before it gets too upsetting?
Please.
You two were very excited about playing a game.
Yeah.
Peter Ramage.
What's the Peter? You've smashed it so far, haven't you, when you've played this game with
Not
us?
Really. We just remember happier times when Peter Ramage was playing for Palace, and we didn't concede 5 goals away at bottom of the league.
Never would have happened on Peter Ramage's.
Never.
Right, let's do it. Let's play a game of What's the Peter Ramage? Here we go. Cha-ching, cha-ching, love it. So it's a What's the Peter Ramage with a bit of a difference today. So we usually do kind of prices and higher or lower. We're still going to do higher or lower, or Eric Dyer or Leonardo Ulloa.
Brighton player lower, like that.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But we've got a couple of clubs we're going to show you, and we want you to tell us their shot conversion rate. So it's tough. It's tough.
Palace on it. You know that inside out.
Yeah. You'll find out. You'll find out in a second. So the first club is the mighty Liverpool. We'll give you this one on us. But any idea on a sort of shot conversion percentage?
I reckon 8%.
8%?
1 in 10. They have so many chances to play such good football, but seem to win like 2-1 every week.
They thrashed us.
Does everyone. But everyone. That's Palace defence. Come on. That's not a good barometer.
I'd say 20%.
This is shots on target, by the way.
Oh, right. I thought goals. Shots on target.
Shots on target. Sorry, 2 goals.
Ooh, okay. Oh, shots on target, 2 goals.
Yeah.
Gosh.
35.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, I'm afraid. without
35,
copying.
what are you saying?
35 as well.
Sorry, in my ear, what was the... 54%.
Wow.
54. So it's a hell of a conversion rate.
That's good.
To get a lot of shots away, but not when they are on target,
Yeah.
they're in pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so 54% is where we're going from. Okay, let's take a look at the next club. Nice, top of Ligue 1 at the moment, as they call it in France. What do you reckon?
So
They're top.
that's going to be dire.
No, I reckon it's good. If they're top, and you wouldn't expect them to be top, I reckon they've been taking their chances, playing at the top of their game. I'm going to go Eric Dyer.
Exactly what I said.
Hey, you said their conversion rate was dire, I thought. Sorry.
Okay, we got it. I got it. You're working together. You realise you're as a team on this.
Oh, are we?
Oh, we're a team.
You're a team
Okay,
on this.
cool.
We're great.
All right.
We're gone.
Forgive
We
me.
usually compete.
I've never seen two people disagree whilst agreeing so much. So you're both going Eric Dyer higher
Eric
than
Dyer,
54%.
It's got to be.
It's 55%.
Yes!
So well done.
Nailed
Well
You
done.
have made it hard.
Well done. Exactly, we have made it harder. Right, the next one. Las Palmas. Las Palmas flying high as well in La Liga at the moment. What do you reckon?
That's the Atletico Madrid logo, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah.
That's a bit cheeky. If anybody knows on Twitter why Las Palmas seems to just have a load of other
That might
clubs.
be Sevilla.
Yeah,
at the
I'm
bottom.
looking at these now. Good point. Talk amongst yourselves at home. What is going on there? If anybody knows, tweet us at FanTV UK. So what do you reckon? Higher or lower than 55% shot
Gotta be
conversion?
lower,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
I think
It'll
so.
show up.
There's lots of chances, Rob, in Spain, aren't there?
No, they just pass it around for ages.
That's quite irrelevant. Right, I reckon lower.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ajar.
59% higher.
Oh, wow.
Higher. So they've been taking their chances, Las Palmas. Bless them.
Really?
Right, let's take a look at the next one. There we go. Red Bull Leipzig top of the Bundesliga at the moment, ahead of Bayern Munich, which is amazing. What do you reckon? Higher or lower than 59%?
That's a very high percent. If over 50, like 59%.
They've shot 59% of their shots on target have been goals.
Someone's
for
got
Las
to be
Palmas.
lower. You can't-
Everyone hates them, I've heard.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Really? Why?
They're very unpopular.
Because they always take their chances. Wait, Germans are super clinical, aren't they? Let's go Dyer.
Okay,
Cool.
you converse.
Going higher?
I thought lower,
Yeah.
but I'll go higher. He usually wins when we go against each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's on cheap tat, though.
That is like rubbish
That's Dom's
memorabilia.
end.
53%. Wow, you've lost your touch here.
Wow.
This is tough this week. It's tough
Yeah.
this week.
Gutting.
Right, the final one. Chelsea. Scoring goals for fun at the moment. Higher or lower than 50?
They weren't at the start of the season, were they?
No, they
Before
weren't.
they brought Victor Moses in.
I went to the Chelsea Man U game and they seem to score every chance.
They'll score every chance when they play us in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. But they'll have a lot of chances.
You take this one. I'll back you.
53. Higher.
You're going to wish you'd taken it. It's lower. It's 51%. Guys, I'd love to say you did well, but that was really bad, that was.
It's a rubbish game anyway.
We are Palace.
Right, that was a game of What's the Peter Ramage? You love it, really.
It was like a Palace game because we got the first two and then lost the last three. Threw it away.
Free without reply.
Yeah.
That was actually very Crystal Palace-esque, which was good of you. There was a bit of loyalty to you. I want to finish talking about Tony Pulis,
Yep.
the ex-Palace man who we've touched on a couple of times, who gave you £3.7 million in
Nice
the High
of him,
Court
wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 days ago. Yeah, it was very nice of him. You go out and buy some players in January with that.
Sack Pardew with it.
What did you make of it all? £3.7 million to Steve Parish. Basically, he was offered a bonus of £2 million if he kept Palace up and then stayed at the club until August 31st. Then on August 14th, he said to them, oh, actually, I need to buy this plot of land for my children. So can I have the £2 million now? They went, yes. 2 days later, he left the club with a nice £2 million bonus. How on earth did he ever think he was going to get away with that?
It's just really dumb, isn't it?
It is.
Like, just stay, manage a few games that you can lose. It doesn't matter, and then go. He must have had a job lined up. There must have been a reason why he was so desperate to go. And then for whatever reason, that job hasn't happened. Or, like, you wouldn't just walk away and lie in that way for no reason, surely.
Yeah.
It was very odd, wasn't it? And it amazes me that he ever thought he was going to get away with it. And also, he's now had to pay nearly double what he would have paid.
They were saying today, so obviously it's 2 million to pay us, but he only got $1 million because after tax it went down. And he has to pay the tax back, so we paid that. So then he has to pay our expenses, which are obviously 1.75 million. It's believed his expenses are about the same. So they reckon the final figure's over £5 million this has cost him. Like, that's a lot of 1-0 bonuses, isn't it?
That is a lot of clean sheet bonuses, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy money. You don't imagine Tony Pulis knocking around with £5.5 million in the bank. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants to go bankrupt. Poor guy.
He'll have to blackmail Gillingham's chairman hard to get that sort of money.
Yeah, which he has previous for doing. I'm just curious though. I mean, he obviously tried to pull the wool over your eyes a bit, but Premier League Manager of the Year at Palace, do you miss him?
So I'm not angry at what he did. I think it's really stupid. Like, 2 days after you get the money to leave. But yeah, he did such a great job for us that yeah, as far as I was concerned, he could have the million.
You wouldn't be losing 5-4 away at Swansea, would you?
Exactly.
With Tony Pulis at the helm. Guys, that's actually all we're time for. It's flown by tonight. But a couple of predictions for the Southampton score this weekend. At home, huge game.
5-4 to Southampton.
6-5.
6-5 to Southampton.
We're going up every week from 3-2, 5-4.
Conceding more. And are you going to stay up?
Yeah, because we'll sack Pardew. Someone will come in and do an average job with a squad. There's enough rubbish in the Premier League, but we'll be fine.
There's 3 teams worse than Palace.
Definitely.
You heard it here first.
There's West Brom for a start.
There's West Brom for a start. Hey, they're coming. They're coming on their way.
Pulis won't get relegated for all his
Pulis will
faults,
never get
except in the courtroom.
Yeah. Right, we'll be back after the break, and we've got the Black Country Derby right on the lime green sofa with Wolves and West Brom. See you in a sec. Cheers, champs. Good to see you. Hi there. During that ad break, I can tell you that Southampton have scored against Arsenal in the League Cup. Geordie Classy with the goal there. If any more goals go in tonight, we will keep you across them here on Fan TV. Still to come on the rest of the show. According to the 2008 football polls, Albion versus Wolves is the biggest rivalry in English football. They obviously haven't seen Millwall play, well, pretty much anyone, to be honest. Mark and Matt are here to show us they are best buds, really, in just a sec. Then the guys from Football Fancast are here at 8:30 to look over last week's wrong predictions, and we have given them another chance to come back and get one right. Pressure is on, guys, pressure is on. Our regular 9 p.m. slot with Gianluca is here. Inter won a game in the week, so we will have to stop being mean to them. Seems a shame to stop, but Juve lost, so I think it's time to start bashing them instead. But right now, let's bring on Matt and Mark. Here we go, Matt and Mark. Come on, chaps. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Good to see you.
And
Good
you.
to see you. Good to see you. How are we doing? Take a seat. Take a seat. We will come to the Black Country in just a few moments' time. But right now, we're going to go for a quick update from across the pond with an MLS update with Jamie. Are you there, Jamie?
I'm here, guys.
How are you doing, Jamie? You all right?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good to see you, mate. How you been? All right?
Yeah, I'm not across the pond, you know. I'm actually in Wigan.
I know, yes, I know. Well, you're giving us an update of what's going on from across the pond, but very much from on our side of the pond, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Listen, it's all set up tonight. It's a massive Canadian derby. The 401 derby. It's the Eastern final. Toronto will play Montreal. It's an all-out game. One of them will be in the MLS Cup final on December the 10th, and they will host Seattle. It's all to play for. It's massive. Tickets are red hot. It's going to be huge at midnight tonight, Toby.
3-2 after the first leg.
Absolutely. 2 crucial goals for Toronto, 2 crucial away goals. It was 3-0, you know. 3-0 to Montreal after 50 minutes. They were sailing. And it should have just all been wrapped up, mate. They were playing on carpet that looked like it was from a bin at some carpet right store. It was a disgrace of a pitch. 60,000 people inside the Big O, which is the Olympic Stadium, Montreal. The game was delayed. Get this, Toby. The game was delayed for half an hour. When the players went out to train, one of the officials realised that the 18-yard box was actually too small.
No way. Football in America gets a bit of stick and they say how far it's come when they're playing on a rubbish pitch in a cup semi-final and the 18-yard box isn't big enough. Really, that happened. So they had to relay the whole thing.
This is what happens, I think, when sometimes people play in non-specific football stadiums. You know, Tottenham are going to face these little things next year when they go to Wembley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get used to it. Midnight tonight, kick-off?
Midnight tonight, 36,000. It's all sold out. It's going to be cold in Toronto, and it's going to be a massive game. We may see Didier Drogba for his last game for Montreal. Hopefully for me, he'll be on the losing side. I'm an Evertonian that follow Toronto. Massive.
Because when I've had you on Fan TV before, you've been wearing... Am I right in saying you're wearing your Everton colours normally?
Normally, I'm a massive Everton fan. We decided as a project... MLS is on, it's on the weekend, so me and another guy, we decided to follow a team. We decided to follow a team at the start of the season, see how it goes. We'll broadcast it on iTunes, like a diary, if you will. And we went out for the last game of the regular season, and it's been amazing. We chose Toronto because they've never won anything. They've never even been in the playoffs. And now they can't stop winning.
And as an Everton fan, you were used to that. There's a goal. Oh. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has scored for Manchester United against West Ham in the other League Cup game tonight, which would be a huge win for Jose Mourinho and the boys. Sorry, I was just criticising Everton and we got rudely interrupted by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But yeah, as an Everton fan, you were used to not winning anything, so you went for Toronto. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, I'm edging my bets. That's why I chose another team.
I don't blame you.
I've got 2 chances of winning the trophy.
Unbelievable. What's going on? I bet you can't believe your luck. Generally as well, just before I let you go, Gerrard and Lampard have said their goodbyes, it seems, to the MLS. What sort of impact, what kind of impact do you think they left behind? What kind of mark did they make on the MLS?
I think Lampard made more of an impact than Gerrard, to be honest with you. But I think what we've seen, I mean, both of them have been an absolute, sensation in terms of publicity, shirt sales, image. But I think what we're seeing now is a turn in the tide now of MLS, and I think the days of these guys going over at the latter stages of the career are now gone. They're being found out slightly. The fitness, Robbie Keane's going to be leaving LA Galaxy as well. Pirlo didn't have the impact. He probably won't be there. Do you know one of the big surprises is that Sean Wright Phillips is still out there, Can you believe that?
I thought he was dead. I hadn't seen him in so long, to be honest.
Honestly, Sean and Bradley are still out there.
I know Bradley's out there doing very well for himself, but I had no idea Sean was still going.
Yeah, they're out there. They found that they've just settled in to the way MLS plays out, and it's comfortable for them. They're both good players, and it's worked. But some players it doesn't suit. I don't think it suited Gerrard, to be honest with you. He's retired, Nobody's mentioned it.
Cheeky. Let's not badmouth Steven Gerrard now. Come on. It's interesting you were talking about Robbie Keane leaving LA. There's talk of him going to Shamrock Rovers to finish his career. We had a Wolves fan on here last week say that he'd have Robbie Keane back. Would you have Robbie Keane? You would?
Definitely, yeah.
Really?
We need all the help we can get.
Really? You'd have him? Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it was interesting. Some people were saying going to Shamrock Rovers, what's he playing at? But I respect that. I'd rather see him go and do that than go to China and earn a few bob. It's nice to see somebody who loves football enough that they just want to keep on playing, whether it's at Shamrock or wherever it is. So, but you'd have him back?
Definitely, yeah.
He was great for you, wasn't he?
It's where he started. That's where he came through. And he was class. He was head and shoulders above everything else at 17.
Yeah, what a class act. His record in the MLS is unbelievable. Jamie, mate, we're going to let you go, but just a prediction for the big game tonight.
I won't give a score prediction, but I'll give a prediction that you'll see Toronto host the final. Toronto win for me. Toronto to play Seattle on December the 10th. Listen, guys, tune in. It's at midnight. You'll be doing nothing else. It's going to be a cracker. You should go into sales, Jamie. I'm sold. I'm watching it. I'm seeing it. Jamie, mate, really good to hear from you. I'll see you next time with your Everton shirt on, maybe. Absolutely. Speak to you soon, Toby. Perfect. Cheers, mate. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the game. Just quickly, we've had a couple of tweets in. We were asking earlier if anybody knows about the Las Palmas logo on Twitter at FanTVUK. The badges under are 5 crests of the clubs which united to create the club. There you go. Victoria, Arenas, Deportivo, Marino, and Atletico. Good knowledge, master debaters. Good knowledge, that. I had absolutely no idea. So very well done. Thank you very much for getting in touch on Twitter from Walsall, England. Well, that leads us slickly. It's almost like we do this on purpose sometimes on Fan TV, but believe me, we don't. That was complete fluke. A complete fluke. The Black Country. Did you hear that statistic? We said that in 2008, this was considered the biggest rivalry in English football. It was about the last time we played, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 2011.
Yeah, I think that's quite right, actually.
Really?
I just think it's one that's always under the radar. It's a big rivalry, a lot more friendly now than it used to be. But I think there's the history with the two clubs and everything. I think it is something that goes because of where we're from. The Black Country always gets put down a little bit, I think. Oh, right, yeah. Compared to some of the other derbies. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That was interesting. I'd never really thought of it, but it's a huge game. I was in Birmingham for 3 years at university, and I know how much the Black Country derby means to people around there. Who wants to pull off the plaster first? Actually, you're doing quite well, so we'll start with Wolves, because it's more entertaining.
Make your way up.
Yeah, exactly. Lost 2-0 at home to Sheffield Wednesday. At one point, it was looking like it could be a lot worse. You were 2-0 down in about 20, 30 minutes. You haven't won at home now in 9 games, drawn 3, lost 6. Any ideas why that would be? No, it's gradually got worse as well. Saturday was, that's by far the worst. Really? There's been, people were giving the ball away left, right and centre. They didn't seem to know where they were playing. We'd set up, in my opinion, we'd set up wrong to start with, playing one striker alone. Bodvarsson up front on his own. But defensively, we playing suicidal balls from the off. Poor old Richard Stearman, I think he had 2 balls played to him in a couple of minutes that were hospital balls. And where that's come from, whether it's just a lack of confidence or whatever, I really don't know. It's a strange one because it's not what you don't associate passing out the back and tiki-taka with Paul Lambert. You associate get it up the pitch, so it seems surprising that they would go down that route. In his other game, he drew 0-0 with Preston North End. Which could have gone either way, that game, but Preston certainly had chances to win that. Generally speaking, what have the fans made of Paul Lambert in his very brief tenure so far? In the first game, it was, he's going to play defensively, he's going to not lose games, and hopefully get the win. That was Preston. Saturday, it went wrong from the off. Whether he'd set up not to lose the game, it didn't work. And the worrying aspect for me was
the lack of the ability to change it. We had no defender on the bench at all, if anything had happened. But it was just poor performances. And that was for me, that was the worst bit. It was, where's everything, what has happened to them all? Where's it all gone strangely? I know last night, apparently, he was at Walsall, Sheffield United, looking at Ebanks Landell, who we'd loaned out. So he's looking at the loan defenders. That was Sheffield United's first loss for ages. Really? So I think Ebanks Landell probably threw it thinking, I don't want to go back there. Yeah, so he's stuck with what he's got till January. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops and how he works with what we've got. Danny Bart's had a lot of stick all season, but we did actually miss him a little bit on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a worry. When you're missing Danny Bart, things really are going badly for Wolves. No, it's been interesting watching Paul Lambert go back there because it's a huge chance for him to regain some reputation as well. He did such a good job at Norwich and then struggled a bit at Aston Villa, so this was a huge opportunity for him. We're going to talk more about Wolves after the break, and we will talk about West Brom as well. We've got the poll still running on Twitter at FanTVUK, which was following Woodburn's introduction last night. Who has been English football's best under-20 player? Is it Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney or Cesc Fabregas? And if you think it's anybody else, let us know on Twitter as well, at FanTVUK with your suggestions. As I say, that's not English players, it's players that played in England under 20. So Owen, Rooney, Fabregas or other. Let us know. We'll be back in a moment talking all about Black Country, Wolves and West Brom. We'll look forward to the weekend as well. See you in just a bit. Hi there, welcome back. There are a couple of matches going on in the League Cup tonight, and we are right across them here on Fan TV. And we're going to go to our Arsenal fan, James, who is watching the game for us. They're 1-0 down at the moment. James, are you there? Hello.
Evening.
Hello, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I've had better days.
I bet you have. How many minutes in is the game at the moment?
27.
27, and you're 1-0 down. Talk us through the game so far.
From an Arsenal standpoint, rubbish.
Okay.
From a Southampton standpoint, really well. Really, really well. They look organised. I mean, Virgil van Dijk out here, he makes the Mountain from Game of Thrones look like a character in Sesame Street, mate. This guy's invincible. He's absolutely invincible. They're through again. No, we're fine. We're all right. But no, this guy is invincible. He's a rock, this bloke.
Wait a minute.
We're running now. Come on, someone run as well so we can put up. No, someone needs to tell Arsenal that Side to Side is a song by Ariana Grande, not a way to play football. It goes this way, it comes back this way.
Very brave of you to admit your knowledge of Ariana Grande on a football TV show.
I'm a big fan. What can I say? Good-looking ladies. I'm a fan.
Hey, I made a small career of playing Ariana Grande every 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. We'll talk us through the goal. Geordie Classy with it to put Southampton 1-0 up. How was it?
Basically, we let Ryan Bertrand through. It looked like Moses parting the Red Sea. He put in a cross, which, to be honest, he had about 30 days to put in. It's hit El Nini on the back, and this Classy bloke's just come out of nowhere and smacked it as hard as he can. It's an unbelievable goal. I'll throw my hands up. It's a brilliant goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really, really good hit.
Oh, fair play to him. Fair play to him. And the team that Arsenal have put out, it sounds like it's a very weakened team tonight. Oh. That's how bad the Arsenal team is. That's how... Right, he's gone. Right. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you, James. He's so upset about the game, he's hung up on us. Cheers, James. Right, well, then we'll get back to talking about Wolves then, I suppose. As fun as that was. You touched on it before the break, January. You need a good transfer.
Oh, yeah, I lost you. Sorry.
So, James, we're just talking about Wolves' transfer policy in January. No, we're discussing... There you are, mate. Hello. The Arsenal lineup that's out tonight in the League Cup. It's quite a weakened team, it looks like.
Yeah, it's not the usual lot. I mean, for some reason, Kieran Gibbs is captain. Good for him. He's been better than usual. But no, it's not the big boys. Giroud, I didn't realise he had a thigh injury, so we haven't really got a sub on the bench. So it's all up to Lucas Perez, who's been out for ages. He looks all right, but he needs people to play off him. And Iwobi and all that, I said the other day, he's run into the ground. So.
Yeah, I remember you saying. James, mate, thank you very much. Going to let you go.
No worries.
Take care. We might get in touch with you later. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Sorry, the January transfer window, which you've been trying to come to like 3 times now. You had a very strange summer. You spent £16 million on 13 players with your new Chinese owners. It seemed that super agent Jorge Mendes was central to a lot of those. Well, Lambert's come out and said you need players with proven championship experience this window, and that's spot on, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Saturday again was obvious. Some of the players we've brought in, sorry to put them down, but when people were breathing 6 foot away from them, they were giving the ball away. It's scary when someone breathes that close to you. It's disappointing, but Wolves must be the only team in the world that can allegedly have that sort of money and go backwards. We've got to spend more wisely. There's plenty of championship quality players around if they're going to spend it. The trouble they've got now is the position they're in is can you entice someone down there? And we're saying down there, we're only outside the relegation zone on goal difference.
Yeah, goals scored. Yeah, yeah.
And that ain't many.
It's really not. You're ahead of Wigan on goals scored, which isn't a great place to be. No, I think it's spot on. I think Lambert's spot on as well. You need to sign some proper proven championship experience in the January window. West Brom, on the other hand, it's going well.
Yeah.
It's going great.
Yeah.
9th in the table at the moment. You drew 1-1 away at Hull on the weekend. Missed opportunity, was it? 1-0 up?
Yeah, I think so. By the sound of it. I wasn't there, but by the sound of it, I think, it sounds like a game we should have won, and we had chances at the end. I think Rondon missed a header, and so did Robson Kanu. So, yeah, I think with the way we've been playing, with 2 good performances, Leicester and Burnley, I think it was really. But a point away from home, never bad in the Premiership. So, keeps the run going, keeps them beaten in November. So,
yeah,
happy.
It was a missed opportunity in one sense that, you threw away 1-0 lead in a winnable game, but also puts in perspective how good your season would have been. Victory by 2 goals would have put you 6th ahead of Manchester United, which would have been lovely.
Does that tell us how good we are or how bad they've been?
I think it's a combination of both. I'll give you that, a combination of both.
No, yeah, I'm happy. I think we're doing well at the moment and playing well, confident. I went to the Burnley game. We played very, very well. We looked good, creating chances. There's players coming back. Morrison, Brunty, Chadley, coming back off a bit of injury. January transfer window coming up. So, yeah, I'm quite optimistic, really.
Yeah, those games, those 1-1 games, how much do you wish you had a fully fit and firing and on-form Saido Berahino in those games?
Yeah, massive. I think he would, I think, the season when he saved us, he would score, he just pick the ball, that was it. But, yeah, I wish we had him, but you want him to play for the club, and at the moment I don't think he wants to play. And
it seems that way. So
yeah.
He's still doing his fitness camp in France, is the latest we heard from him.
Yes.
His contract is up in the summer now. So what does the future hold for Sergio Berahino, who looked so promising at one point at West Brom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. I think it just depends on what happens when he comes back, whether he comes back into the team, the reaction with the players. It seems like the senior players and stuff have got around him. It seems like, they've tried to steer him in the right direction. I think the fans have had enough of him, really, to be honest. But I think if he came back and put the work in and tried and looked like he was giving, I think the fans would take him back. For me, I think we can sign probably someone better at the moment in January. And I think with players like Chadley and players like Rondon, really, really puts in a shift. I think he'll struggle to get into the team if we carry on playing the way we are, to be given his chance.
I think if Berahino needs to look for anyone for inspiration, I think Rondon's attitude is...
Yeah, 100%. He's brilliant. I mean, he works there on his own. All right, sometimes he hasn't got the end product, but, he really puts a shift in. And in the last few games especially, he's really coming to the fore, holding the ball up well. He's really strong. He wins lots of fouls. So, yeah, I think definitely.
We talked about Wolves perhaps underperforming with all the money that they spent in the summer. Well, this will cheer you up. West Brom are top of the value for money league. Have you seen this statistic?
No.
The value for money league sounds like one of the leagues up below the conference, doesn't it? Like you're sick from the value for money league.
The Tesco league.
Exactly.
Sponsored by us. So,
exactly. It does sound a bit like that. Yeah. West Bromwich Albion are top of the value for money league. Basically, what it is, it's money spent on your average starting 11 compared to how many points you have. So yours is £2.94 million per point, which when you say it that way, doesn't sound like much of a bargain at all, does it? Really. It sounds like an awful lot of money. Yeah. But I'll put it in perspective. Manchester United are bottom of the value for money league, and they have spent 18 million per point so far this season. So that rather puts in perspective. Tony Pulis, who every club he goes at, he does a good job. Every club he goes to, there are fans who don't like his style, think he's maybe plays a bit boring, a bit safe. Is there any other manager in England that would have West Brom ninth with the transfer window you had in the summer and spending practically nothing on that team?
Maybe Roy Hodgson, when he was there. I think we were playing well, and we had a very similar calibre of players.
He got the England job off the back of it.
He did, yeah. Him and Dan Ashworth both went to England from West Brom. I think maybe Hodgson. But apart from that, probably not, no.
No?
I think Pulis does well with what he's got. And I think, lots of Albion fans will say he's boring or we should be playing better. But if you look at the team and the squad, I think actually we're doing well with what we've got. And, I think now you're seeing with these more attacking players coming back and playing in January, hopefully that's the area he'll expand on with a quite solid defence you've set up. I think we can play expansively, and he can. He showed it at Palace. When he was at Palace, they played expansively. They had the players to do it. I think he knows how to use the players he's got, and at the moment he's using them quite well, I think, with us.
Yeah, I think fans do well to remember that every time that Pulis gets a bit of a knocking from some of the faithful, West Brom faithful. Let's look ahead to the weekend. We'll start with Wolves tomorrow, actually. Playing tomorrow night. Very odd game, this. 7:45 on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Don't they know Fan TV's on? Well, they do.
I know we haven't sold that many tickets this time, and it's very expensive as well. So it's got 0-0 written all over it.
QPR away. I mean, they were on a bit of a run when Ian Holloway first took over and then lost 3-0 away at Ipswich on the weekend, which must give you a bit of a boost. Andrew, seems to be better away from home than you are at home at the moment.
Well, was it on the Championship show the other night? I think Jamie O'Hara said the players... he always felt happier playing away from home, from which I had another comment, but we won't go that far on. The pressure is on at Molineux. It really is. I know they're my own fans and everything, but we are quick to turn on people. But we have seen a lot of dross in the last couple of months. The away games, I think all teams are the same. When you go away from home, the fans seem to get behind their team much more than any home ground.
Yeah.
And I think that's every team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of clubs like that. There's a lot of clubs that are struggling at home at the moment. I think playing under that pressure is sometimes a bit too much. We'll get a West Brom prediction in a sec. Very quickly, going to get a Manchester United update, who are playing as well and have the lead against West Ham. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Very, very well. Very, very well, thank you. Just quickly, we're going to speak to you across tonight, but talk us through the goals. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
A wonderful start for United. I just want to say a very respectful minute's silence at Old Trafford tonight, with condolences to the Chapecoense FC team in obviously Colombia, the crash. very poignant minute of silence before the match.
That's great. That's great to hear.
Very a fantastic goal, but well built up. Just what West Ham did to us the previous match. Nice early goal. A fantastic build up from Mkhitaryan, really to Mkhitaryan. A wonderful back heel. And Zlatan, what he does best, slots it past the keeper with Adrian. Very little, much else to do but pick the ball out of the net.
You, how many minutes in is that game, by the way? Because it was quite a late kickoff, wasn't it?
It was an 8 p.m. kickoff. Literally, I've just come into the office now, so I'm missing the actual play. But it was a goal within the first 2 minutes, which was fantastic. Very attacking tonight, United. Nice to see Mkhitaryan again starting in midfield. Martial's teaming up well with Rooney. It looks like, obviously, West Ham, they could catch United on their break at times, but the way the United has started tonight and they're playing, it's hints of the very attacking side that we used to have with Martial playing out on the left-hand side, cutting in. Obaji has been booked already for West Ham, and I think most West Ham fans will be pretty worried about Martial getting past him a couple of times tonight, hopefully.
It's good to hear Martial's playing well again. We're going to let you go because we've got to take a break, but thank you very much for Skyping us, and we'll talk to you later on as well.
Thanks
so good luck
guys.
with it.
Have a good evening. Thanks a
Cheers,
lot.
guys. Thank you. Speak to you later. 30 seconds to go until the break, but West Brom against the other high flyers and overperformers, Watford on the weekend. Scoreline, what do you reckon?
2-0 West Brom, I'd say. I think
Brom.
home form is good at the moment. I think fans are up for it. I think, we've had some good performances. I think it's a team at home that we would be looking to beat.
And Watford lost
the weekend, didn't look great. So I think you've got to put the pressure on them at home. And 2-0.
We've got to take a break. But guys, thank you very much. 2-0, 0-0. We'll find out. We'll find out in the future. Cheers, guys. Hi there, I'm afraid it's more bad news for Arsenal fans. I can tell you Southampton are now 2-0 up against them in the League Cup. Ryan Bertrand has got the second goal, which is a bit of a rarity as well. So it's a long way back for a weakened and depleted Arsenal side tonight. We are halfway through Fan TV, so that means there is only 2 more segments to come. Joining me now on the sofa, it's Alex and James from Football Fancast. They have come prepared with some pretty stills full of information that will be ripped to shreds this time next week. Sometimes I wonder why they keep coming back, frankly. I'll be nice this week. I promise I'll be nice this week. The Italian stallion Gianluca is ending the show with me from 9. We will be talking Serie and Arsenal. Liverpool are 2 points ahead of Arsenal in the table, but I'm not going to rub that in at all, I promise. Come on, Alex and James. Get up here, guys. Come on, Alex and James. Hello, mate. Good to see you, and nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are we? Take a seat.
Good.
Before we do anything, I'm dropping my clipboard. Good save. Before we do anything, we're going to take a look at your predictions from last week. Let's do it.
They were good for once.
They were all right this time, for a change.
Go on then.
Well, my 2 picks are left and right, the ones that don't wear claret and blue. I think Balassi, I know they spent a lot of money on him. He'll probably struggle this weekend because he's against a European giant that is Southampton. But no, you've got to take into consideration, I think Balassi, so we've picked 3 here that they're all good players in their own right, but they haven't really hit the heights this season. And especially with the Christmas period coming up, if you hit form.
You did have some decent suggestions last week, but Jack isn't here this week, and he suggested Yannick Balassi and Pereira, who did absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And he dodges the bullet.
He dodges it, yeah. He's at the Emirates tonight.
Is he?
Watching his beloved Southampton smash Arsenal.
Oh, God, he'll be unbearable, won't he?
He's definitely going to be unbearable.
He's going to be absolutely...
Even more so, yeah.
Yeah, even more so. Well, welcome to our Lime Green Sofas, and thank you for joining us. Should we just crack on? Should we have a look at your suggestions for this week? Let's do it. The first one you've got, this hurt me so much. I think I hurt more than him. Oh, that's not what I was looking for at all. I was looking for Coutinho replacements. Here we go, Coutinho replacements. Oh, I'm so... Look at the poor guy. Look at Philippe.
Bless him.
Look at that face.
Look at that face. He's devastated, isn't he? Absolutely devastated. I was so upset to see him go. They're saying back in the new year, but obviously... Normally, that would mean only missing 3 or 4 games, or if there's an international break, 2, but he's going to miss 6 or 7. So if Coutinho's in your team, he needs to come out, basically.
Definitely.
Let's go through all these suggestions. First one, Leroy Fair. I mean, I keep not putting him in, because I keep going, he's not going to score again. He's scored all his goals for the season. 2 at the weekend. What's going on with him?
I think that game was a bit of an anomaly as well. Was it 5-4 in the end?
Yeah.
But he seems to be, him and Sigurdsson in the middle, seems to be pulling the strings for Swansea. And I think they're the 2 players that will get him out of the mess that they're in at the moment. And you can see already. I mean, he's only owned by 8.4% as well. Points per 90 is pretty high as well. I mean, for £5 million. And you're going to, if you get him in instead of Coutinho, you're going to be saving probably about 3 or 4 mil as well.
Yeah.
To invest elsewhere. So he's definitely one to consider.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only thing put me off is at what point do these kind of hot streaks of goals come to an end? But he keeps proving me wrong every single week. So does this guy, to be fair. He's been proving me wrong based on how much I've criticised in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Theo Walcott's banging form this year, isn't he?
Yeah. Go on.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been completely revived this season. It's nice to see him actually fulfilling his potential, because he's been talked about for so long, and it's strange that now this has sort of come when he's moved back to the right wing after so many years of wanting to be the striker. But yeah, Arsenal got a good thing going this season. He's definitely one you should be getting on. And for 8 million, I mean, it's not, in fancy football terms, it's not crazy money.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. It's not at all. And that price is only going to keep going up, I think, because he's going to keep scoring goals. I get the impression for this year. It is half-time, by the way, in the Arsenal-Southampton game. 2-0 to Southampton in that game. Bit of a crazy result. This next man, the surprise package of the season, do you think, Victor Moses?
I'd say so. I mean, he was at loan at my club last year, and he sort of flitted in and out of form. I think the West Ham decided not to take up the option to buy him because he just didn't really do much. But he's got a little bit of belief under Conte. The only downfall with getting Moses in that he's technically playing as a defender for Chelsea, but he's listed as a midfielder on the game, so you're kind of losing on points there. But he's getting in amongst the goals. He's got an assist. And given his price, his points per 90 minutes is pretty high, and no one really owns him either. So you're looking at a differential as well. So
I do think that's the 2.5% only having him is partly due to the fact that he is classed as a midfielder, which quite rightly, because he's always been a midfielder.
Yeah.
Do you think in that system, the 3-4-3, he's still getting involved enough in attacking? Because he does get up and down that line quite a bit, so he should still get opportunities to contribute with the big numbers as well.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. I mean, he's got the 2 wing backs either side of him. He's got the 3 centre backs, and then he's got N'Golo Kante covering the whole pitch pretty much week in, week out. So he's allowed to get up and down that wing, and he's definitely getting involved. And the full backs are cutting, the attacking midfielders are cutting inside, and he's providing the width.
Yeah.
And that differential there is just at this stage of the season, everyone's getting the same group of players. So if you want to go up and up your league, you need to get somebody that nobody else has got.
Yeah, and 2.5% Victor Moses certainly falls under that category. And this final guy, Juan Mata, is he single-handedly keeping Jose Mourinho in a job at the moment? Feels that way.
I'd say so, but then at the same time, I don't think he's completed the full 90 minutes this season.
No.
I think he's one of the most subbed off players in the Premier League. But he's getting points again. In terms of value for money, he's pretty good. No one really owns him. I think we spoke about him a few weeks ago. So I think we did a full infographic on Mata. He tends to sort of pop up when it really counts for them. So again, and he's a little bit more expensive than the rest of the guys there, but and definitely want to consider.
Yeah, I'm amazed at 4.1%. Oh, here we go.
West Ham.
Look at your face. Yeah. West Ham have equalised.
You scored.
Ashley Fletcher.
Yes.
There we
Against
go.
his former club.
There's a storyline for the night.
This is the dream.
There we go. This is the first time I've ever seen you happy about anything
Do you know
West
what?
Ham on this sofa.
Before the weekend, we didn't have a striker that scored in competitive football since May. We've had 2 and 2 against Man United. Can we play them every week?
Here we go.
Is that right?
Here we go. You hear that, Manchester United fans? West Ham are having a tough season themselves, want to play you every single week. It's about as low as it gets at the moment.
Yep.
Well done, Ashley Fletcher, though. Glad for him. Let's move on to festive fixture difficulty. I like this. This is good thinking, Good thinking.
Yep.
This is why you get paid the big bucks. Walker. Let's start with Carl Walker. So talk us through first the average fixture difficulty.
Well, the Premier League, they have they introduced it this season, so they rank fixtures in terms of difficulty between 5 and 1. So 1 is easy, 5 is difficult.
What's West Ham at West Ham?
Well, I mean, in a couple of weeks it gets a little bit better, but we're still probably averaging about 3-4 at the moment. But I mean, we've looked at 5 teams that have got a relatively good fixture difficulty between now and maybe I think it's the second game week in January.
Yeah, so down in game week
20.
14 to 20. So it's basically until the
So it's about
years.
6 or 7 game weeks. So there's 5 teams, 1 player from each team, all of which have a relatively good run-in between now and I think it's like the 14th of January.
Yeah, it's a crucial time of the year in real football and therefore fantasy football as well.
That's right.
Kyle Walker, you're going to get clean sheets with Spurs, although they've not been at their golden best in the last few weeks, but defensively they don't concede many, do they?
No, they are very solid. They have been for a few seasons now, but trouble is they're not so good attacking wise now, and that was a hallmark of their game. The fullbacks getting up and down, but just the goals aren't coming, so not getting so many assists.
Yeah, but it's some easy games. This next guy is another man who's been reborn under Antonio Conte, Pedro, who's starting to look like the player that I remember from Barcelona at the moment. And some easy fixtures as well for Chelsea over the next 6 or 7 weeks. So definitely worth a punt, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, he's 5 assists and 3 goals. And one thing with Pedro is the one thing that stands out is his points per 90, which is 9. He's picking up 9 points every 90 minutes he plays at the moment, which says a lot about how Conte's put a lot of faith in him, but also the impact that he can have on that new system that Conte's adopted at Chelsea. He seems to have a lot more freedom going forward, and for 7.3 mil, and they've only got 2.6 average difficulty over the next 6 or 7 weeks, so he's going to get you more points.
And he's essentially playing up front alongside Diego Costa at the moment as well. Alvaro Negredo, a couple of goals for him at the weekend after going through a bit of a drought. Does the start of him turning a corner maybe?
Well, Middlesbrough have got hope so really, haven't they? I can't see where else the goals are going to come from other than Negredo. But yeah, if he can, fixtures coming thick and fast, but if he can get a couple, he seems like a little bit of a streaky player. So earlier in the season and that, but yeah, he's definitely.
He's got pedigree as well throughout his
yeah.
career for scoring goals, including right here in England in the Premier League. Gylfi Sigurdsson, we touched on, but he's having a great season single-handedly, it seems, trying to keep Swansea alive at the moment. 4 goals, 4 assists. points per 90 again, 5.2, very, very high.
Yeah, I think with Sigurdsson, and we touched on with Fur in the last graphic, is that I think that win over Palace at the weekend is going to really give Swansea that boost. And I mean, Bob Bradley's got a bit of a job on his hands, but that win, I think, is going to, and it's him and Fur that are going to really be the spear to that survival push. And his stats are pretty good: 4 goals, 4 assists, 5.2 points per 90.
He's
and
very consistent as well. He's always
consistent.
Goals
I mean,
and
for
assists.
years he's been consistent.
Been doing it for
even
5
when he was
years
at
now.
Spurs, but. And their average difficulty, given that they're down there, there's still average difficulty is just 2, given that ranks up to 5. So I reckon Swansea will get out of it, and Sigurdsson and Fur will be up there with them.
And he takes set pieces as well, which is something you've really got to look out for. So
that's
free
right.
kicks, penalties.
Yeah, very good point.
Whipping balls in from corners and free kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie Austin. I mean, Jack's not even here. Jack's not even here,
put them in
and he's managed to get Charlie Austin on this slide.
Well, I did that, and I spoke to him earlier, and I said, I'm going to put Austin in for you, mate. And he was pretty pleased with it. But
yeah, I mean, the points per 90 higher is very high, 6.6. He didn't actually start the season, really. He wasn't really their first choice. He's forced his way into that team, and he can't stop scoring goals.
That's down to Shane Long, sort of in and out of injury, not really in form. But he grabbed a couple of goals early on and sort of kept his spot.
Yeah. And he took the chance of both hands. And if Charlie Austin does play 38 league games in a season, we saw what he did at QPR, 18 league goals, I think, in a tie they get relegated. So definitely worth having a look at. And very cheap as well, very cheap, £6.8 million. Right, we'll have some more fantasy football advice ahead of the upcoming weekend, and we'll be across the games that are going on in the League Cup as well in just a sec. Hi there, it is Fan TV live on Sky 212, Facebook and YouTube, and we launched a poll a bit earlier. We can have a look at the results in so far. The question was, it's still open by the way, so still please keep voting. It was following Woodburn's introduction last night, who's been English football's best under 20? Is it Owen, Rooney or Fabregas? And if you have any other suggestions as well, then you can tweet those in as well. But at the moment, Rooney and Owen are far ahead of everyone else. We were discussing Woodburn in the break. You're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
We were discussing that, as am I, as you know. But you were discussing that we've known about Woodburn for a while, haven't we?
Yeah. He's a little bit of, he's sort of among Liverpool fans, he's not really much of a secret. And he was really good in pre-season, obviously. And keep an eye on the younger teams. He's been doing his thing for a little while now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There was a collective sigh as well, I noticed, when everybody Googled him last night and then found out he was Welsh. Gutted. Absolutely gutted.
He's Welsh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Welsh. Yeah, it's gutting, isn't it? He's Welsh, sadly. Right, we are going to get a quick update from German football, the Bundesliga. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, James on Skype.
Auf Bundesliga!
That's cool.
Jack, are you there, Jack?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
I'm very, very well. I'm very, very well. And am I right in saying that you're an American?
Yeah, I am. I live in the Chicago area.
Who's giving us an update in England on the Bundesliga? This could get very confusing. How does your Bundesliga knowledge come about?
I don't know. I got into it when I started getting into football, but then I studied in Germany for a while and speak some German. And yeah, I was just at Bayer Leverkusen in September on an English media tour of the club. So talked to some of their players pretty recently.
Very nice. Were they nice?
Yeah, they're all nice blokes.
You've got to say that.
So right, they really were.
Yeah, whatever. No, genuinely. Germany, it's very exciting. Leipzig, top of the league, ahead of Bayern Munich. What's going on over there?
Yeah, Leipzig are still top now, 12 match days in, still unbeaten, 30 points, 3 ahead of Bayern. Bayern only lost to Dortmund, but they can't keep pace with Rasenballsport Leipzig, or Red Bull Leipzig, as most people call them. And they bought a lot of exciting young talent. They spent a lot of money this summer, 50 million. So maybe their league position isn't so surprising, given that they spent the most in the league. But guys like Emil Forsberg, Marcel Sabitzer, Naby Keita just came in this summer. I don't know if you saw his goal last Friday. It was spectacular. But he really thinks he thinks he's the best player in the world, and it's really fun to watch him.
Nicholas Bentner style.
Yeah.
They aren't very popular in Germany at times amongst certain groups of people, are they, Leipzig, because of the way that they've gone about their business?
Yeah, because the money came in. And I think maybe it's other clubs that are jealous that they could get a bunch of money and have the success, because you look, Hamburg had a lot of money recently. They squandered it. Other clubs maybe didn't have the money, like Darmstadt, Ingolstadt, that just came up. They don't have the budgets to compete. And I guess they have more history too. So that's why maybe they're upset.
Leipzig, rightly so, are taking all the headlines as they're at the top of the league at the moment, but the whole league is full of surprises at the minute. I mean, once you get below Bayern, there's lots of names up there that you wouldn't expect to see up there at the moment.
Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a power shift going on with the traditional top 4, even the teams usually found in European places right now. In third, it's Hertha Berlin, 4th, Eintracht Frankfurt, 5th, Cologne, and 6th, Hoffenheim, who they're still undefeated as well, ahead of Dortmund, and 7th, Schalke, and 8th. And then you have Leverkusen, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and as well as Wolfsburg, who are just in the Champions League, but they're all the way in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, and Hoffenheim, I'm right in saying, have a 29-year-old manager, don't they?
Yeah, Julian Nagelsmann. I think Bayern are interested in him because he could be the next hot talent. And I don't know, Guardiola's too old, I guess, now. He's 29.
29 years old and undefeated in the Bundesliga. It's not bad going.
You know, I think Hoffenheim actually said that they found Firmino from Football Manager as well. So some of that, maybe Football Manager culture helping out Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I love it. This is the next generation, isn't it? I saw this, that Firmino came from Football Manager. Well, thank you, Football Manager, for giving us Roberto Firmino at Liverpool. And just one thing I want to ask you about as well is being linked with the Arsenal job, and I can't say his name. It's the most German name in the world. Ralf Hasenhüttl.
You got it, yeah, Ralf.
Yeah, I got it. Nailed it. Being linked with the Arsenal job at the moment, it was Thomas Tuchel a few months ago, but obviously Dortmund languishing down in 7th place at the minute. What can you tell us about Ralf Hasenhüttl?
Yeah, he's the new hot commodity, I guess. So he's been at Leipzig now for a couple of years, took them up after Ralf Rangnick moved to the front office from the manager's position into the director of football role. But the two Ralphs, they work together really well, and Hasenhüttl on the pitch, you see his high pressing tactics. Leipzig don't allow a lot of shots. That's why they've scored, 27 goals, only allowed 10. And they play a high pressure, like you see a lot of teams playing in Germany now. But they have these young guys who can run all over the place. Oliver Burke, of course, yeah, everyone knows him, but he's scoring. And yeah, I don't know if he'd work out at Arsenal, because the thing with Leipzig is they spend a lot of money, and we know that's what Arsenal don't like to do.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for the German update. Before I do, it's a lovely home you've got here, but is that an old school photo I see behind you?
Yeah, it's my parents' home actually, but which side are you looking at? Right behind?
Whichever school photo is the most
yeah,
embarrassing, go and get it and bring it over.
High school senior photo, let's see.
Go and get it. Go and get it and bring it over. We want to see the most embarrassing school photo. He's actually going. I love that he's going. Share with the group.
All right, we go. End of high school, so.
They're all you. All three of them are you.
Yeah.
It's kind of you through the ages.
Yeah, then the other ones of my brothers are on the wall that you can't see.
Well, I think I know who the favourite is. Well, thank you very much for sharing your embarrassing school photos with us and for your German update as well. Cheers. Give us one last flash of your embarrassing school photos, please, mate. so upset. There you go. Mate, thank you very much. On a serious note, thank you for getting in touch for the German update. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Let's have the sting again. Come on, let's see the sting one more time. Come on.
Bericht auf Bundesliga!
He turned up the volume on that one in here, didn't it? It was a bit loud. It was a bit louder, that one, wasn't it? But thank you very much. It is actually very interesting what's going on over there in Germany at the moment. Right, let's move on to FanDuel. FanDuel, which is the fantasy football fancast run. That was a very difficult sentence to say. You've got the most frequent shooters is one of the slides that you've given us here. Let's take a look at that because explain the logic behind this because so you get points for shots on target. Is that correct?
You do. You get five for a shot on target, 15 for a goal.
Okay. So these guys are most likely to get you two of those things.
Yeah, I banged on about this quite a lot actually when we're talking about FanDuel, and that you need to be picking the guys that are more likely to be getting their most shots away because if you get on target, you're picking up the points, you're racking them up. I think Austin at the weekend, he got one goal, but I think he had like 4 shots on target. Boosted his points total up. And likes the midfielders as well. They're in there. They're going to be relatively cheap, but they're going to be still picking up points. So.
Although I wouldn't go for Coutinho. Would be my advice for the next 6 weeks.
Don't get Coutinho in there. Whatever you do, don't do that.
It's more about the statistics than anything else. We can look at the Ultimate 11 as well in FanDuel from the weekend just gone. There's always a few surprises in there. Randolph had a great game. Great game against Manchester United. Tompkins, this is where I get confused by FanDuel. Tompkins they conceded 5, but he obviously bagged one himself, did he not?
He got one himself, yeah.
Yeah.
But you also get points for interceptions. Defenders will get points for interceptions, for tackles made, chances created, things like that. So regardless of conceding a load of goals, there's still loads of ways of racking up the points for these players.
Yeah, well, I went for that approach in my team, and we'll talk about that in a few moments' time. Macaulay, just West Brom's top goal scorer every season, absolutely bangs them in. And I can see the logic behind the others as well. Fair and Sigurdsson, we've already discussed, but those two guys seem to be worth getting in every single different form of fantasy football at the moment. Jordan Henderson, is he one of those that's not a fantasy football player? Is he kind of the opposite? He's not necessarily a fantasy football player, but a good FanDuel player.
Yeah, I'd say so, because this season you see him with the way Liverpool play, and he drops in and he's almost like a third centre-back when we're attacking, so he's passing the ball around a lot from deep midfield, completing the passes, which you're getting points for all the time, which isn't normally the sort of thing you look for on Fantasy Premier League. But he's consistently, he's a fairly decent scorer.
But here on FanDuel, very useful, and the front three kind of pick themselves as well. Lorenzo, those 2 late goals against Crystal Palace in that crazy game that we've mentioned at least 1,000 times tonight. I'm not even sorry, it was such a great game. Moving on, we can have a look at my team that I selected for this weekend. I made my FanDuel debut. So this is what I was talking about, right? So every week I look on here when you show your Ultimate 11 and you always have defenders that concede loads of goals. So I was like, I'll put Scott Dann back there, Michael Keane, Ashley Williams, Fabianski. They did nothing. They were useless. Where are all my defensive stats? That's what I want to know.
You need your goal-scoring defenders in there. But there's 3 defenders that their averages are pretty high. Normally, I mean, Dan was involved in a crazy game. Everton were rubbish against Williams. I mean, even 19's pretty decent score for a defender anyway. So, and I thought Burnley were pretty decent against Man City. So there weren't 3 bad selections, but it's all about on the day. So many different ways of scoring points.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see my Liverpool coming through here, that I'm a Liverpool fan.
Coutinho was unlucky.
Coutinho, 4 points. I mean, that didn't help.
He was off after half hour or something.
Yeah, him getting injured, so he only got 4 points. And I thought Sunderland at home, we'll bang a few in. 2-0, but luckily he won a penalty late on. And then he technically didn't scorer, get an assist, but then Firmino's one of those players, he's all action, isn't he? He'll get a lot of points in FanDuel, I'd imagine.
Couple of shots on target, probably. You get 3 points for a chance created as well. So the players like Firmino, Mane and Coutinho, when Coutinho's fit, those sort of players you need in there, because if they're not scoring, they're not assisting, they're creating chances. So, again, there's points in it.
Yeah, that was well done, Robert Snodgrass, by the way, for being my top point scorer. Thank God for Robert. We can have a look. I think we have the table from this week's FanDuel. So you set up a Fan TV FanDuel. You at the top. That's so annoying. That is so annoying. It was Jack on this. Oh, there he is. Second.
Yeah,
oh, look
Jack's
at you
second,
two.
yeah.
Oh, fantasy football
We're
experts.
not your experts for nothing.
Oh, God, that's annoying.
I actually came second in another league where I won 370 quid as well this week.
I saw this. Did I win a quid?
You won a quid.
Yes. How much did I put in?
Nothing.
Yes. That's 100% profit.
You're a pounder.
100% profit. Here we go. Now we're talking. Well, how do I collect my pound?
You have to email them and ask them to take it.
I want my pound. Christmas is around the corner. So I was Lallana Rama. Best name there, by the way. But Lallana Rama, 151 points. So all these weeks that I've been giving you and Jack so much criticism for not having a clue.
And there we are.
Proof's in the pudding. That's
Top
so
of the pile.
upsetting. Were you in this?
Oh, no, I think I need to get in on it, really.
You need to get in it for next
I follow
week.
it, but I just
Because I need to. And thank you, Matt, by the way. Thank you, Matt, behind the scenes at Fan TV for coming bottom and making me look slightly better. So, cheers, Matt. That's all we have time for. We're going to leave on the note that I came 8th out of 9th and you won. That's gutting. Right, next week, I'm so finishing top and you're coming 8th. Okay? Very nice to meet you, by the way. Nice to meet a Liverpool fan. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And you... Yeah, I'm still not sure. Still not keen about you.
Thanks, mate.
No, you will be back same time next week with your, I've now got to say it, expert fantasy football predictions.
Yes.
That is so upsetting.
Right,
Right, Gianluca is on the way of an update on Italy and Arsenal. He's going to be on the lime green sofas. Can't wait. Hi there, it is Fan TV. We're in the home straight, half an hour to go, and the last half an hour is with Gianluca, our Italian stallion. Yeah. Hello, mate. Good to see you. How you doing?
Play my sting?
No sting. Still no sting. I know. And I promised you last week that you were going to have a sting.
I mean, I might not come on next week now.
I know, and I'd be gutted because, you know, but just you this week.
I know.
What are you saying to our guests that they don't want to hang out with you?
I mean, it must be the smell, the Italian smell.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but now,
put it straight off.
Now that you mentioned it,
I don't know. Just no one's around. No one's here supporting us.
Well, I've got the pleasure of your company
And
alone
yours,
for
yeah.
half an hour. I
mean,
thought this day would never come, but
exactly.
here we are. And now I'm going to instantly ignore you and go to Skype. If that's okay with you.
Story of my life.
It is. And just to rub it in, he's got a sting as well. How upsetting is that? And he's never even been on the sofa. He's never even been on the sofa. It's our man, Aboot Toon. It's our Newcastle update. To be fair, having seen that, you're probably like, do you know what? I don't need a sting because that one is rubbish. Hello, Clint. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Well, I've got bones to pick with you, Tony.
Now, I should explain, if you didn't see the Newcastle update with Clint this time last week, I said I was bored of the section and it was a waste of time because Newcastle win every single week. What's the point in us speaking to Clint? Since I said that, you got knocked out the cup and you lost in the league at home to Blackburn as well. How you doing, Clint?
Yeah, I'm fantastic apart from those two things. Yeah, great, mate. Yeah. Cheers for that.
That's all right, mate. Anytime. I'm happy to take the mick out of you. I'm actually really glad because it now does make this section much more interesting. Let's go chronologically. Let's start with the weekend. Blackburn at home. He made 6 changes, Rafa Benitez. What did you make of that when you saw it?
I was very surprised, especially with the changes that came in. I think we underestimated them a lot. And it just goes to show that anybody can beat anyone. It was currently at 22nd in the league at that time, and obviously we just got rolled over basically.
It was
all throughout the game. I was thinking of you, Toby. I was thinking this guy he's jinxed us now.
Don't say that. Newcastle fans are going to have me lynched at this rate. I mean, it was a strange one. 6 changes, lost at home to Blackburn. You ruined every single accumulator up and down the country. I think it's fair to say. An element of complacency creeping into Newcastle. We've talked so much. We've waxed lyrical about Newcastle all season. They're going to win the league. We've even had the discussion, you and I, Clint, are they going to break the records tally in the Championship? Was there an element of complacency, do you think?
I think so, yeah. I think they walked into this game thinking, you know what, we can just turn up and beat this team. And obviously we just got proven wrong, totally wrong. Obviously you said about the changes that were made. Rafa keeps going on about this. It's a squad game, and I don't think our squad's clearly not good enough to maintain some amount of changes. Yes, our first team 11's good, but once you get to the nooks and crannies of replacing players for players, we haven't got a quality in depth that we need to do so. So I think we're going to go in the January transfer market and hopefully get some decent replacements for some of these players.
Get used to that. We had Rafa at Liverpool, and I love the man with a passion, but he loves a bit of squad rotation. You need to get used to that. He used to do it for us all the time.
Didn't he have wasn't it 150 consecutive games or something stupid like that?
Yeah, but I think he broke the record for the most changed lineups in a row. I don't think he had kept the same team for over a year or something. Yeah, so get used to it, Clint. There's plenty more where that came from. And then last night in the League Cup, it was... You played much better than you did against Blackburn, but same result. I mean, you just couldn't put the ball away last night against Hull, could you?
Well, yeah, we thought we would turn up to Hull City and, right from Saturday. And it's been an intense 5 days, to say the least, for Newcastle United fans. We put a strong lineup out, apart from 2 strange decisions that we made last night. We put Sells instead of Darlow. I'm a massive Darlow fan, but I still can't see the reason why you would change Darlow. He's been an ever-present inside so far this season, and you put in Sells, who a lot of Newcastle fans are saying to blame for their goal. And obviously Zaha started last night. I think it's his first start ever this season, and what a game to throw him into. I think he had a bit of a poor game as well. So I can't believe we went out on penalties, and that's 2 games lost now in the space of 5 days. I'm absolutely devastated, man.
It was all set up for a beautiful 2-legged Liverpool-Newcastle Rafa Benitez game as well. It was all set up so perfectly, Clint, and you went and let the side down.
Well, as you let the side down again, I was thinking about you in that game. I was thinking, Toby, please do not think Don't do it to us, please. I need a prediction for a win this Friday.
I didn't make a prediction that you were going to lose. I just said it would be funny if you did, and I maintain that, and it would still be funny if you lost to Nottingham Forest on Friday as well. I don't change my opinion on that either, Clint. He's not happy.
Thank you very much for that, mate.
Just quick prediction before I let you go. What is the score going to be? Nottingham Forest away Friday?
Well, obviously, I've had to put the Kleenex tissues to one side now. I've finally got over it now.
Were you enjoying Newcastle's season that much?
No comment, mate. No comment. I'm going to err on the side of cautiousness this time and not going to be too confident. I'm going to go with a 1-0 draw this time. But usually I would say we're going to batter them 3-0 or 4-0. But obviously after those two last previous performances, I'm going to say 1-1.
I never thought I'd see the day, but I have bullied you so much over the last month, Clint, that you're actually humble. You're getting sensible.
I know, I'm absolutely devastated. I see what you've done to me, Toby. I'm a changed man now.
He came in brash, Newcastle, we're going to win the league. Look at him, 1-1 away at Forest. You've got no aspiration, no ambition, Clinton. I mean, you still do have your name all around you, behind you. Where are you?
I'm in my bedroom, man.
Yeah. Only Clint would have his name all over his wall in the bedroom. I love it, Clint. I love it. Promise me you'll never change, Clint.
Oh, I'll never change, mate.
Love it, mate. Mate, I'll speak to you same time next week, yeah?
All right, no predictions as well, man. We're going to win this one, all right?
Yeah, try not to lose again. Try not to lose 3 in a row, mate. It's easily done. All right, speak to you next week. Bless him. We like Clint. That was our man about tune. Our man about tune. Hey, why, hey, man. It's just ridiculous. That is the. I mean, aren't you glad you don't have a sting now?
What is that horn all about?
I think it's it's Newcastle, isn't it? That's just synonymous with Newcastle, isn't it? That kind of. Oh, I can tell you, by the way. That was quite a good one. Martial has scored. Manchester United 2-1 against West Ham now. A much-needed win coming Jose Mourinho's way. Gianluca.
Yes.
Hello.
That is my name. Don't wear it out.
We've worn it out on this show, believe me. Let's go into the break with a Serie A catch-up, and then we'll do Arsenal in the final section. Juve lost. Juve lost the game against Genoa.
They were 3-0 down after half an hour and went on to lose 3-1. And really, real difficult challenge for them. I covered one of the games when I was over there a couple of years ago when they went down 1-0 to Genoa in the last minute, and that was a scrappy win. This one, completely different kettle of fish. Really, really good side Genoa this season. Diego Simeone's son, who plays for them, scored a brace against Juventus at the weekend.
Yes, I saw that. When the name Simeone came up, I went, it can't be.
It was.
It's
it was
Diego Simeone's son who scored twice against Juventus.
Scored twice.
Was that expected? Talk to us about him as a player.
I mean, he's a young, exciting talent at the moment. Very attacking, plays in midfield, plays a bit further forward compared to what his dad...
Definitely not Simeone's son then, if he's very attacking. Definitely not Simeone's...
Compared to what, he was still playing that same...
Are you sure Diego
position,
Simeone's wife didn't have a very attacking milkman or something?
Yeah.
Because that seems very
You've seen him on the touchline, though. He is, he goes at it like a rabbit.
Really?
So 2 goals for him. Then Alexandra got an own goal as well from a corner. Juventus 6s and 7s all over the place, rested a few players, got loads of injuries at the moment, decimated by injury. And then Pjanic scored a free kick, but they did lose Dani Alves to a broken leg and Leonardo Bonucci as well to a hamstring injury for 2 months.
Loss.
Yeah, very, very big losses there. They have to go into the youth team and get themselves a few defenders there. But yeah, 4 points now at the difference at the top because both Milan and Roma won at the weekend. So it's quite a tightly contested league this season.
Yeah, I don't shed any tears when I see Juve lose because it makes Serie A more interesting.
More interesting.
Well done, Genoa. Well done, Genoa. And a huge game this weekend, the Rome derby. Lazio versus Roma. As an Italian, obviously we kind of always think into AC as the Milan derby as the big one.
Yeah.
Is this on the same par? Is it bigger?
It's massive at the moment because both teams are very much in form. Obviously, a couple of years ago, the whole famous Totti selfie in front of the Curva Nord, or the Curva Sud even, was one of the big talking points of where they were at that point when it was just, media surrounding the game. But now, it's a game of such magnitude. Roma going in second in the table with top scorer at their disposal, Edin Dzeko, and then you go up against a Lazio side who've been quietly going about their business, and they've got Simone Inzaghi, Filippo Inzaghi's brother, at the helm there, and he's taken them really, really good places this season, up to fifth or sixth in the table. So they're quietly going about their business really well. Very tight game there as well, and I think it will probably end in a stalemate because Roma concede goals quite frequently at the moment, even though they're scoring much more. But Lazio, very, very tightly contested outfit.
A stalemate in Serie, surely not. Just quickly, we're going to get a West Ham update on Skype, who have gone behind now. Hello.
Toby.
How you doing, mate? You all right? Thank you very much for getting in touch with us.
It's not the best time to come to me, but
I'm sorry to do this to you, but talk us through. Let's start with the positive. Talk us through the Ashley Fletcher goal.
Obviously going 1-0 behind very early. I thought it was a bit dubious myself. I thought, personally speaking, I thought it was offside because if you've not seen it yet, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was offside when the ball was played through by Rooney. He ignored it. Mkhitaryan got the ball, backheeled it then to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and he scored the goal. So I know it's his first phase, second phase rule, but I think that's absolute rubbish. Then obviously it was all uphill, and then Fletcher got his goal. I quite like him. I'm glad he's got his. I think it's only his second start. We got him from Manchester United. Which is, he's doing okay. We've always struggled since Andy Carroll's been injured.
It's nice to see a West Ham striker scoring some goals as well. And just quickly, we've only got 20 seconds to go until the ad break, actually. Cool. But how much longer is left in this game?
We're on the 53rd minute, so we've only really just 7 minutes into the second half. But, I think if we get a little bit of luck, the referee, Mike Jones, ain't really doing us any favours, but what do you expect playing at Old Trafford?
Exactly, playing at Old Trafford. You don't get many decisions. We're going to take a break, but thank you very much for Skyping us, mate. Appreciate that. Good luck. Good luck.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Hi there. Before the break, I was with Gianluca and we were doing an update on Serie A. And there's just one last game I want to talk to you about. And it's actually the first game of the weekend as well. Friday night, Napoli versus Inter Milan. It's a huge game for both teams, kind of for different reasons as well. Napoli will still have one eye on potentially getting involved in the title race. Yeah. Inter Milan just need points.
Well, saying that, Napoli haven't won at home. Well, they've drawn the last three on the bounce down in Naples. So it'll be difficult for them. And Inter have just come off the back of a 4-2 win against Fiorentina, where they were brilliant in an attacking sense. Candreva,
which I don't think anybody saw coming.
No, not everyone saw coming. Icardi grabbing another double, his fifth of the season. So going toe-to-toe those teams. And Icardi was actually linked with Napoli in the summer. So there's been a bit of fire between those two teams. So he'll definitely be up for it, up for the challenge. Napoli, again, decimated by injury at the moment. So could be anyone's guess. They could turn up and absolutely, slaughter Inter, which they should do because there's quite a big gulf between the two teams at the moment, but Inter could easily go and get a result there. Pioli's going about, got 2 games in, drew against Milan in his first game, last-minute equaliser, won, obviously on Monday, 4-2, so doing all right in his first 2 games, even though they lost in the Europa League. So.
And we're right in saying as well that Napoli basically played a weakened side about a weekend ago. They basically put out a load of youngsters, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the injuries that they got at the moment. It's not the greatest moment for them and their team. And Maurizio Sarri's come under a bit of pressure at the moment because he didn't really do the business that he wanted to do during the summer. And now, obviously, that's taken its tolls with the amount of injuries that go into that team. And he's the type of manager that likes to play the same team week in, week out. And obviously taking its toll, not rotating, it's just, it's awful. It's awful for the team. And playing youngsters, obviously blooding them quite easily and bringing them in to play in that team is gone backwards for him. So 3 draws on the bounce at home isn't great, and they really, really need to start winning again.
It's not title form, is it?
Not at all.
Still Juve's to lose this league title?
Yeah, I think so. 5 on the bounce for them. Want to go forward and win the 6th title, but Champions League just in the background that they really, really want to win. Been 20 years since they last won it, so Massimiliano Allegri just has got a lot of thinking to do, especially going into the January transfer window there, because again, does he need to bring in extra people in those ranks? Because the midfield, they've got players like Sturaro and Hernandez who are seen as fringe players, and they're still playing on a weekly basis for this Juventus side, and they're not good enough, the matter of fact. So Dybala's got to come back from injury. Again, he's been out for the past month or so.
It's a huge loss.
Yeah, Higuain as well, injured now. So it's all on Mario Mandzukic at the moment.
You talk about Juve, the Champions League, nagging them in the back of their mind. They want to win the Champions League. The team that lost the final a few years ago, I mean, that felt to me like the strongest Juve team out of all these last 5-6 years. I mean, was that their one golden chance to win it, do you think?
Yeah, I think it was, because the way that they cast aside Real Madrid, Monaco, Borussia Dortmund, especially in the knockout phase, was magnificent. They were absolutely churning out results. I remember covering the game in Dortmund, and Tevez was just the best striker in Europe at that moment in time. He was absolutely unplayable week in, week out in Serie A. Him and Morata played the tandem. They were brilliant. And then that midfield of Vidal, Pirlo, Pogba and Marchisio, there's just 4, just so compact and just played so well. They had a 4-3-1-2 formation, and it was a bit of furore in Italy, because they was changing from the 3-5-2 of Conte, morphing into the 4-3-1-2 of Allegri, and loads of fans were just getting on his back and saying, this is not the formation we want to play, but it works so well in Europe. Couldn't do it in that final. Could have had a penalty though when Pogba got taken out, and that was at 1-1. And I think they were really hard done by in the final, so could have won it, but obviously Barcelona showed their class.
Yeah, I do wonder if they missed their chance.
I think so, especially for those sort of players like Buffon. He's never won the Champions League, which is ludicrous. One of the best goalkeepers, if not the best goalkeeper of the past 20 years, and he's never won it, and he's won everything else under the sun. World Cup, hasn't won the Euros, but yeah, I mean, they were all in tears at the end of that game, and it was very hard for them. But I think this could be the year. I've put a bit of money on them to win it. They were quite long odds, so thought, why not?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's money that you won't be seeing.
No, not at all. Maybe we should get on FanDuel. Might actually win something.
Exactly.
You want a pound. What is that about?
I want a pound on FanDuel for coming 8th out of 9th. I'm definitely doing FanDuel every week. It's just guaranteed money. That's 52 quid a year. It's amazing. It's incredible. Let's move on to your other passion, Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
I got so lucky on the weekend.
I mean,
fluked it. Poor little Bournemouth. Poor Eddie Howe, who's there to do his audition for the Arsenal job in the future. They played so well, and then Arsenal go in, just scrounge a victory. All joking aside, though.
I mean, no, we've been lucky the whole month. So.
Well, we were discussing this in the break, and I was saying, Arsenal are not pulling up any trees. They're not setting the world alight. But Arsenal of years gone by would have lost games this month. They're drawing or they're winning games where they're playing badly. That's got to fill you a bit of confidence.
I mean, it's hard to think that this Arsenal side they've only lost 1 game in 8 months of competitive football. And obviously there was a 3-month break in the summer. But to lose against Liverpool side when Arsenal
That does help the 3-month break. Liverpool didn't lose in those 3 months either.
No, not at all. So the 4-3 aside on the first day when we had Holding playing at centre-back with Chambers, and now you've got Koscielny and Mustafi, completely, the golfing class between those two partnerships. Yeah, it's the last month against Tottenham could have easily lost. Manchester United should probably have lost in that game. PSG as well. They had chances upon chances upon chances. But the thing is with this Arsenal side is they don't have as many shots on target during the course of the games, but when they do, they score. So I think 3 out of 4, 3 of the last 4 shots on target have turned into goals for Arsenal, which is something that from years gone by. I remember once we played CSK Moscow in the Champions League, we had 21 shots on target and end up drawing 0-0. Like it's like fine margins. And back in those days, we had Henry and Van Persie leading the line. So yeah, I'm quietly confident this season. I think still not playing well and having a decent enough November, which is sort of seen as a killer month for Arsenal during the course of the season, picked up like 1.57 points on average throughout Wenger's tenure. 3 points off the top for me going into December and with a January transfer window to
bolster.
The
best is yet to come as well.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I'm right to say we have James on Skype, who is our Arsenal fan that has been watching the game tonight. Not going too well. Hello, mate. You don't look very happy.
No. I'm gutted because, if EastEnders was on a Wednesday, I'd watch that instead.
Oh, come on. You don't watch soaps, do you? Come on.
No, I don't. No, I haven't got time.
Yeah, good. No, I don't know how anyone has time for soaps. I know this is a football show and I'm going to digress here, but soaps are the stupidest things in the world, right? Why do you watch a TV show where you're going to die before the show ends? The shows never end.
I can't really comment. I'm a massive wrestling fan, so,
Oh, yeah, wrestling's the other one. They build up all year to WrestleMania. And then on Monday, they just have Raw and they just start again. That's like us doing the Champions League and then just kicking off the Europe.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
It is a bit of fun. At least
more fun than this.
At least wrestling involves some skill, unlike EastEnders.
They've probably got a better storyline than EastEnders, to be fair. The way that they've come up with it every week.
I'd love to see that. That's a show waiting to happen. That's a TV. Yes, Gianluca. Somebody write that down, okay?
I need to get some money for this,
wrestling swap storylines for a week.
Oh, I've just nearly watched Shane Long score, Jesus.
Sorry, me and Gianluca were discussing our own.
That's all right, you crack on.
Our next business venture, that's what we're doing.
Exactly. So Shane Long's nearly scored, but it's 2-0 to Southampton now.
I don't even think it's Shane Long, that's how much. I don't know who this person is. I thought it was Shane Long, someone else. He's got a dodgy Barnet, but he's nearly scored.
Oh God, that could be anyone in modern day football.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, mine's not great, but hey.
Be honest, and both of you have to be honest here as Arsenal fans. Are you disappointed with the result tonight?
No.
Gianluca says no. James seems gutted.
I want to, at the start of the year, you have 4 competitions as an Arsenal fan that you can win. We pretty much go out of about 2 or 3. So this one looked like quite a safe bet if you look at who's around there. And we've sort of mucked this up with a lacklustre team selection and a lacklustre performance. I mean, Carl Jenkinson, when he went off, thank God, because this guy's woeful. I'm sorry, this guy is not good enough. If having an Arsenal bedroom as a child entitles you to play, I mean, I've still got Arsenal curtains and a rug, so can I play up front against West Ham, please?
Fair enough.
It's a good point. I mean, he's been out on loan for a couple of seasons.
If he wasn't good enough for West Ham, what makes him good enough for Arsenal? This is the argument I have with so many people. And but he loves the club. He loves the club.
It wasn't a case of him being bad for Arsenal. He got injured and he got sent back to Arsenal. He did his cruciate. I mean, he's not going to play Arsenal standard. And I don't think he should play anymore.
He wasn't good enough beforehand.
He was all right beforehand. He was all right, but not Arsenal standard, not up there with Bellerin.
Sorry, he's terrible. He's so bad. The other day, everyone was skinning Iwobi against PSG. I'm like, no. You should be skinning the 6'2" right back that's been out-jumped by a 5'7" little Brazilian. That's what you should be screaming at.
He's not. I mean, Carl Jenkinson, I don't rate him particularly, but I've never known anyone really dislike the guy. But we've met one.
I don't know. He used to sit
I bet
up
he was
next
a
to my
lovely
dad.
person. I bet if we met up, we'd probably be friends. But as a footballer, he's a joke.
If he's watching this, I'm going to hazard a guess you won't be. But I don't think he wants to sit down and have a beer with you anytime soon.
But if there was one game that you wanted to lose in November, this was it. I mean,
I don't want to lose any of them.
No, neither do I. But if there was to be one game that we lose during the course of November, it's got to be the League Cup because we've kept tabs with teams up above us. I think we're going to go far in this Premier League season. I think we're not playing well at the moment, but we're still grinding out results.
Very true. Very true. Can't disagree.
How much longer is left in? That was easy.
I mean, I'm expecting a bit of backlash here.
He changed his tune. And also, what do you make of that Carl Jenkinson? I quite like him. No, can't push him that far.
I can't even use the words to describe how Arsenal are getting these points out. I don't know. It's weird.
In years gone by, we would have dropped points left, right, and centre. Lost against Spurs, lost against Manchester United. And we've got points in those games, obviously retrospectively from last season, that's 1 point extra against Man United. So, you know, it is making improvement, and you've got Sanchez and Ozil still forming that great partnership up front. They're not playing tonight. I wouldn't have played them tonight. What if they would have got injured?
No, oh God, no. They need
Guys, I've got to interrupt, but I've been thoroughly enjoying two Arsenal fans going hammer and tong. I've appreciated that. James, thank you so much for Skyping in all night as well. We really appreciate
No worries,
that,
thank you.
Sorry about the result, but thank you very much.
That's all right. You're
and
welcome.
we'll speak to you soon
Friday.
as well.
Take
We will
care.
speak to you soon. We had the results in from poll that we ran over earlier on Twitter, FanTV UK. Got the results in there. Rooney voted England's best football player under 20. There are results there. Michael Owen just behind him. The big problem with Wayne Rooney is everything since he turned 20 has been the main
that was a long time ago he turned 20.
It's a long time ago, and he's not done a fat lot since. Tomorrow from 7:30, JLC is back with literally hundreds of guests. Not literally, but a lot of guests. Regular Skype callers Dan, La Liga Man, and Stephen Copping are coming in. They're going to be here on the lime green sofas. That's right, we will get to see the whole of them, not just from the waist up. What a treat, looking forward to that. Justin will also have fans of Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Swansea, Sunderland, and Fulham with him. And to top it off, Kenny Ken will be kicking off. I don't think he will be the only one. Good luck, mate. Don't forget to join him tomorrow to watch the carnage unfold. About 20 seconds to go. What's the Arsenal score going to be? West Ham this weekend.
We're going to grind out another result, and we're going to win 3-1.
Grind an ugly 3-1.
Ugly 3-1. Take that all day. Go down 1-0 and win 3-1.
I hate to say it. I think you're right. Thank you to everyone that came on the lime green sofas or Skype the show today as well. It's flown by, to be honest. I'll be back again on Wednesday at 7:30. Have a good week. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.